Before this video begins, I'd just like to take this opportunity to say thank you to this channel's sponsorship donators and Patreons, these being Tribal Typhoon, Skyhawkings, Dante Demonic, and Negus. Thank you guys, without your support this would not have been possible. Bonjour and welcome to Shadowstar. I'm Captain Ri'shad, aka the Renegade, and this is a Starship visual review video. So, allow me to introduce you to the Risian weather control vessel. I'm done with the tongue twisters now, at least for now, and I ask that you all get yourselves nice and comfortable, pull up the beverages that you prefer. Welcome members of the Federation, Klingon Empire, Romulan Republic, and of course the Dominion. To this video where we will be discussing first of all the customization options of this starship, the brilliant details of the ship in the second part, and then finally the one part that everyone looks forward to, I'm sure, the Vanity Shields. I just wish I had them all. I'm so close. So, this all being said, guys, I think I've wasted enough of your time. Shall we begin? Well, wasn't that lucky? Straight away with a standard coloration. So, this weather control vessel sadly comes looking with its Type 3 material hull and this blue and mahogany wood style. There is a lot I could say here. And hello people that keep logging on and off. This is an active day. I wonder what could be going on. No, but seriously, there's a lot of customization available to this ship, yet at the same time it is relatively limited. So since that is an oxymoron, let's try to explain that one. First of all, there's only one template. There is also no customizable hull, but then again, considering this is basically a workhorse ship, I guess with its design it could be combining workhorse with luxury liner to do the two jobs at the same time. Come on, this is Star Trek Online, and this is the Star Trek universe. That's more than possible. For example, Galaxy class. But yeah, having this kind of bridge on the ship really isn't a problem. I do know there were some people that were hoping for a bridge for this ship, but as we have come to learn, or at least I definitely come to learn, STO don't give two damns about bridges these days. They haven't given damns about bridges since before they added the Romulans, which is why the Romulans have no extra bridges. Well, okay. How about window types? Again, no. There is literally just the one window type. And there is no alternate styles to go along with hull, engines, keel, sails, or nacelles. Maybe it would have been nice to be able to reposition the certain things to be at a different angle, but again, that would actually take away from the feel and design of the ship that we'll get into next. So that's, again, not a problem. I just said again a lot. I'm so sorry. However, we're now done with the limited bases, and yeah, that sounds like 80% of the ship is limited. How can you say there's a lot of customization? Well, first of all, this is a Risian ship, and as with the past, there are a butt ton of Risian patterns you can add onto this ship that really allow you to create a wonderful feel to this ship. You can make it look jolly, you can make it look crazy, make it look sporty. It's all there for you if you want to do it. Then you've got your standard patterns which work really well on this ship as well. They also reveal in certain cases. Let's go on the hull. I believe I can do this with the Corvus. Not so much. Ares? One of these will do it. One of them will reveal the... No, I think I might have just accidentally done it. You can see that on this one it's blue, and I think if I go up and... there we go. you can now see that there is actually a standard hull texture that sits underneath. Now if I just go with Type 2, you'll find that this is a purple hull, a sort of dark grey purple hull that sits underneath. Type 1, which is normally just referred to as a colour that glows, comes with this white, lighter grey hull that's it has no light fixturing on itself, so whatever glow element you're using will reflect off that hull quite well. And Type 3 is a typical dark blue. However, as previously stated, let's knock Risian back on. All of these hull types will directly reflect the colour you put on top of them. So although the blue hull of Type 3 is a natural blue, and so you'd expect that to interfere, it luckily does not. And so whatever colour palette you want to throw onto this ship, you can more than easily do it and won't find an issue. So to further add to that, you then have the great benefits of that as a result of all these glow elements that you got with the different style deflectors, which as you may notice literally just takes the grill away between Type 3 and Type 2, as well as Type 3 only comes with this yellow to teal glow to it. It's also combined with a bit of blue. All these options gives you the ability, if you want to say, let's go really white, and you've got Hazari. I'm trying to think of another one now I could do. Okay, let's go Riemann. Teal. Whoops. Give it a bit of a Riemann feel to it. You've got these options available to you. So if you want to go for a colour scheme based off of either yourself or just a generalised colour scheme, you're able to do that. And furthermore, if you do like the detailing of the wood pattern, you're not actually stuck to just this brown wood. This is probably one of my favourite detailing aspects. But if you know what you're doing, you can get pine. You can go for beech. Standard mahogany. Oh, ebony wood. You've literally got all the options just available to you. And I love that little extra detailing that just lets this ship be, well, its own ship. So let's actually look at the finer details. For the moment of details, we sit here before Section 31 Delphal's Fleet Base's Spire. Or Fleet Spire, should I say. Look at it. Isn't it miraculous? We could use a better paint job on it. You know, a bit of black. That'd help. Oh right, no, we're talking about the weather control vessel, aren't we? And where do I begin? Well, since I left off customization with the wood, let's actually take a better look at this. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, wood in space, not really a great idea. So, how have we come to this? Well, first of all, if you look over it, you can see there's a semi sort of metal feel to it. And I do like how the Cryptic team have managed to, well, the STO team have managed to actually come to this middle ground between a metallic yet at the same time wooden feel. This wooden feel isn't requiring the paint specifically. As I showed you in customization, you can change that paint color and you still get that wooden texture, and it's actually quite good in the fact that no matter how you adjust that color, it will end up feeling like stained wood. So even if you went for green with the Type 3 hull, you end up with the wood feeling still, and it's just a bit of extra detailing that they didn't necessarily have to add to this ship, but by doing so really gave this ship that resort ship feel. Like, it's feels the sort of ship that you'd find on a resort. I do like the further detailing they brought into it, where you come to the actual skimmers, but we'll get to that just in a second. The big thing I like about thus the wood texture in itself is that it's not overdone. It is literally a bit of trim on the engines, down the central cylinder and towards the deflector. Okay, bit of trim on the actual gotta call them winglets, because I don't really have a proper correct term to use for them. And finally, for the adjoining sections of the sails. Speak of the sails and the skimmers, so to speak. They're referred to as sails, but personally, I actually see them as skimmers, because this whole ship has that feeling of, don't know if you've ever heard of it, but a speed cat. Skimmers use essentially the same thing as the rising weather controlled vessels fin sails here, to basically lift the primary hull or the main hull out of the water, so that the minimum amount of the boat is actually in the friction. To me, this is almost creating that same idea. Now, you might say, well, how? It's got a huge fin underneath, but that fin there could just be the rudder, the controlling rudder. And it's not that big. Yeah, that's going to generate a huge amount of friction, but it's not that big, and that's another great thing in the design. Down with these skimmer legs, or sails, you've also got nothing more than a fin. This fin is shaped perfectly for cutting through water. It feels like a rudder at the back there, but it's not. Instead of the type that has to oscillate, it just changes the output between two pulsed engines, particle engines, or jets. They might just be water jets, because they don't act like impulse engines when you're flying, so they might actually just be water jets. There's nothing wrong with them having that on a ship, especially if you consider that this ship is meant for riser. So, by all rights, this ship is meant to land on water. And if it did, I would say, up to where you can see those torpedo launchers right in the dead center here, would be where it sits into the water, thanks to its design. And when it's moving across water, you'd probably find it sitting on the lower two segments of the sails. Which means, again, very little of that enters the water. It is actually a really well thought out sail. It's so true to real life speedboats. And I love that feel. In fact, it feels like that might be the riser ship design from now on. Instead of the luxury liner like we got first of all, they're all going to be speedish in design. So away from that, let's talk these huge semi-cylinders underneath. And I'm going to say huge. Now, what could they be? By all rights, by their positioning and that, I want to say they work with the sails to control the weather. Like, this ship probably sits in high altitude amongst most of the clouds and is sitting there half the time controlling the weather. And the other half the time it comes down to water. Excuse me. I will say the cylinders are the only thing on there that I say should kind of drop the wood effect, because not sure why the wood's been trimmed up onto them, but they still look kind of cool there. They're probably one of the most eye-catching parts, but at the same time, I feel like they add to the feel of the ship, but as a single element, there's not really much I can say about them. They could be part of the storm generator, in which case, okay. I will show you the storm generator in a bit. But yeah, that's the only thing I can think they're linked to, is this actual console of this ship and generating that storm. Now, dropping away from that, and you get to where this ship starts throwing a couple of questions at me. I'm still sticking to the underside because I feel like I have to, but bear with me. All the escape pods are underneath. I mean, yeah, there's quite a timely amount on top. We're looking at 8, 10, 20 on top versus 8, 12, 14, 16. Woo! Wow. Wow, 32. Really? 20 versus 32. Now, considering the fact this is primarily an atmospheric ship, firing all the escape pods downwards doesn't sound like a good idea to me. I mean, it's a great idea if it's in water, because that basically jets them all out into the water. They're out of safety. But if it's in the air, like it currently is sitting right now, and you can imagine this is how it would sit with Riser. The ocean's down there, and most of the time it's up in the air like this. God, being in the Dyson sphere is actually kind of fit right now. You'd expect most of the escape pods to be fired upwards and then to eject parachutes. Or use some kind of anti-gravity system to hold them where they are. Maybe that's how those ones save themselves. They're fired straight down, but an anti-gravity system kicks in and it just slows it rapidly. That's the only thing I can think of. Why so many escape pods underneath? Moving up, and we talk about things that are on the up and bottom right now. That's these little veins. Now, I don't know if they stood out to anyone else, but they stood out to me, and I don't know why. But when they caught my eye, I was like, oh, okay, so they've added vents all over this ship. Fair enough. Makes some sense. They can use the ventilation system of the ship, I guess. This is in atmosphere most of the time. There's nothing wrong with using a ventilation system instead of a standard life support. Okay. Why do they look so detailed? I'm not lying, that was my train of thought. Why so detailed? And then I realised, like, no, don't complain. The fact they've taken their time to actually detail these in. Now, in demo record, these are actually a lot more detailed than you might think. They've been so well textured that they have given a 3D feel on top of their standard 3D texture. So even if you're at a low render value and low pixelation, these will still look somewhat 3D to you. I could show you right now, but I really don't want to turn my render scale down. I'm quite happy with having it at top render. These are, to me, this is a sign that as much as Summer Cryptic is getting excessively greedy recently, as I'm sure people have noticed, this is a sign that there are still people in Cryptic that still care about Star Trek Online, still care about making this game beautiful for its fan base. So glad they're still there. Now for the hatches. Why am I talking about the hatches? Well, because can you see where the docking hatches are? Because I thought this was brilliant. I'll give you a clue. You've got 3 docking hatches directly visible right now. Once you know where they are, they're very obvious. Also gives you an idea of the scale of this ship. Okay, right, I think this has taken enough time for most of you guys to have noticed it. Now, let's make them really visible. And I shall pick on, I believe, the Terran one for this. Because I think the Terran shows it up best. Yes, it does, but not in that light source. Whoop. Let's go Disco. Disco should show it up well. Ah, Disco shows it up brilliantly. There you go. They're no longer white like the rest of the windows. 1. I do hope my mouse cursor's on. 2 and 3. How well blended in are they? Now that you know exactly where they are, if you didn't. How well blended in are they? Because I'm not going to lie, they did not stand out to me at first. Until I knew that they were there, they did not stand out to me. I like it. And they've got a really good design as well. Because it gives you that idea of... You got your standard docking port. Ow! Okay, yeah, there's proof that they hide themselves. There's a 4th one here, right next to a sail. So you've got 2 there for standard docking. 2 higher up ones for first class docking. Why not? Take a look around the ship, and there's 1 here at the tail next to the engine. It's actually behind the engine, so yeah, that's the only one I really question. Going underneath, and you have 1 at the very lowest part of the fin, 1 up here at the highest part of the fin, 1 towards the front. And all of these are mirrored on the opposite side. So it's really good detailing that they've added in, and they've really well thought about how many docking hatches you might need while connecting up to this ship. I did mention that docking hatch there behind that side, and they're still hiding from me. Stop it! I like them. I like the design. What I don't like the design of, however, is the weapons modules and how many there are of them. Now, the only thing I could say with this is there's that many weapons on this ship. Personally, I feel like then they have to be limited in their arc, like big time. Let's get started. Upper section of the ship, we have... Oh god, this is going to be fun. So, we have, at the front of the ship, 2 potentially dual emitters, right in the peak of these, of the little fork at the front. Please excuse my sneezing. Right at the front of the ship, we have 2 weapons emitters, right at the fork at the front. We have 2 more emitters here, either side of that main cylinder. 2 towards the back here in the midsection. And then we have 2 on the tail, with 1 on the actual bridge stem. So that's a lot of weapons. We add to this as well 2 torpedo launchers at the front and 2 torpedo launchers at the back, though admittedly they seem to be firing at each other rather than at a target. How about below? Bearing in mind on top so far that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 on top. Yes, okay. 2 at the front, 1 in the center, 2 further back from that, 2 on the tail section, and 2 at the back there. Okay. So that is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 1 on the bottom of the sail. 11, 12, 2 on the side of the sails. Yeah. Awkward. The moment you rotate, you spot even more in it. 12 with 9. Really? Okay, so it's not really a bad thing to have so many. But this is supposed to be like a civilian craft. It's not military, it's not warship, it's not going to gun ho everyone, yeah! Right on, pirate! No, It's a weather control vessel. It's a science vessel. Why so many weapon points? The only way I can see this is that these weapon emitters are actually less weapon emitters and more how it's also controlling the weather. Maybe using the same systems as weapon emitters, these things fire out a sort of wide beam that adjusts the, basically superheats an area to make it more tropical. Or generate a ion field to start up a storm. I don't know. It's the only things I can think of to why there's so many. I do also want to pick on the design of the weapons. Like, you got this lovely circular design at the front. What's going on with this grey fin at the back? It just seems tacked on, that little bit at the back. It's the only bit about this ship that also feels tacked on as well. So it's kind of... Damn it. But oh well. I wish... Oh no, I can think of a way. If I could go to Quantum Slipstream Drive, I could show you what these sails look like properly without this glowing element on top. But then again, since you not really going to see that ever, unless you are at Quantum Slipstream Drive apparently, I guess I'll pass on doing that. Just know that it's basically a group of glowing elements on the edges of it with whichever paint scheme you've gone for around it. So the central pattern here has a bit of wood on it, and then the metal around that little bit of wood that you can just about see through there between these three glowing elements. The rest of it is the standard metal material. It's lovely. Okay. Away from all this, now we're going to talk about bigger detailings. How about the Deflector Dish? The net design is great. I do like the net, and it's funny to think that you'd think the net is part of the deflector system. After having a look at some things, I feel like that's actually part of the Basard collector system, just not Basard collectors. They end up with weird texture patterns on them. We'll see that in a bit. It's still a nice design though when the weird texture patterns aren't thrown on top of them, and the deflector itself just looks really nice to me. I prefer the way the Type 1 looks. However, the Type 3 is my favourite hull because, well, first of all, it's using the same plating as the Platinum Vanity Shield, but also because it gives you that wooden aesthetic that looks very nice and not at all out of place. Overall, I think the whole front bit looks great. And as you move down the cylinder, it's just got those few extra detailings that really do give the ship some sort of organic feel to it. And the ship itself feels organic. I think the main thing that creates that feel though is that despite its wedge shape, so I'm going to flip over the top again. Despite that wedge-shaped design, you've got the front portion creating its arrowhead, and then a reverse arrowhead at the back that is done in such a smooth manner. It kind of feels like a beetle. might work really well with the Gemdar shields here, but ignoring that simple factor, oh my god, it really does look like a beetle. Ignoring that simple factor, it does at least give the ship a nice flow to it as well. Also makes it feel fast. Now, towards the back of the ship, we actually start talking about the elements I don't like about this ship. First of all, this ship has a beautiful, beautiful side profile view. It looks bulbous, I admit, but it also looks like a sort of nice flow. Almost feels aggressive in this flow manner. Which is great, because you've got that bulbous feel to it there. But as seen, it's actually a very sleek look, so it's doing two at once. From above, it's a nice look. Admittedly, I do prefer the side profile. Then, above's not pretty nice. Front profile from above and below both look really good. The rear below is my second least favourite, and the rear above is my least favourite. Like, what's going on with the rear? I just don't get along with it. It's got nothing to do with the venting, because the vents look great to me. I think that's a great addition. Shows how the engines are cooling themselves. I do like the detailing on the back here, which gives it an almost symmetrical feeling to the front, because both sides have the sort of pincer shape or claw shape. But these little elements in the back here really does add to the feeling of how the ship is functioning. The impulse engines look great. The impulse engines up on the engines look nice. It's just for some reason, to me, all the angles don't look nice. This one only really feels better to me because of the rudder working there to amp up that feeling. But that's the only reason that one looks better to me. It gives the ship more life and feel. This top one, I honestly can't say how they could have done this better, in my opinion. So I really should not be complaining. But it's just something about this rear view I don't get along with. Meh, well, it's one thing that gets that effect out of the whole ship. Who cares? The ship still looks great to me. Engines will get a niggly from me here. Now, let's be fair with STO. Okay? Play counterpoint first of all. With STO, they have designed a lot of original ships. And there's only so many designs you can do until you're actually running out of original concept ideas. Eventually, you're going to start coming up with designs that look a little bit like another design. And come on, it's not like it hasn't been seen in Star Trek before. Constellation class, Constitution class, same nacelles. Anything of the motion picture era, same sort of hull. Excelsior class, Centaur class, the Nebula class to the Galaxy class, using similar components happens. Shame this wasn't a Federation ship then, because those engines look like the Phantom Intel Escort engines. I don't know if anyone else has pieced that together yet, but that's one of the first things I did. And admittedly, the Phantom Intels look similar to the Defiance. That was kind of the point there, though. Maybe the Federation delivered these engine schematic designs to help improve this ship's speed and maneuverability a bit. That would explain why the design is so similar, but that is about the only reason I can think to have it there. Am I really complaining about that, though? Nah, it's not that bad a thing, because at least the engines really work with design. They don't feel out of place, they don't feel like they're dislodged from the design, they work. So, hey, it's good. And besides, there are plenty of other things to make and add to the engine feel. The vents at the very front of the ship, the Bassard collectors that are in that beautiful V shape that again gives the ship its fast feel. Okay. I think we've mentioned everything now. I've given a decent amount of detailing to the things that deserve the detailing. The mention and detailing. I mean, I could be a bit nicer to some other areas, but let's get on to what you want to see. The Vanity Shield, yes? Everyone loves the Vanity Shields. Okay, well, let's begin. And so, we start off with the Alliance Vanity Shield. Which, well, it works on the ship. Let's not discount that. Also, probably should have picked this one because that really does show up where all of the docking modules are. And actually shows 3D design to certain ones of them. It's also how I 100% confirmed which launchers were the torpedo launchers. It's a good feel on this ship, I will say. I will say that. Okay guys, we are now going to the Baiul Vanity Shield. Now this one has been looking absolutely amazing on absolutely every single ship I've put this on. I might be biased because I really do love dark hull colorings. And if you really wanted to make the Biool perfect for me, give it red element glows and perfection. Black and red, that's just me. On this ship, oh, it's quite nice. And the whole thing really does. Believe it or not, this is the coloration I fly with it. This is how my one flies. I think my favourite things to note are that the impulse engine is red, the Bazaar collectors that you can see there are white, and the actual primary elements are glowing that refined white to blue. Next up, Bulk Vanity Shield. Now this one is going to give us all a very dark hull texturing. But at the same time, lighter than Biool. The Bulk Vanity Shield, well, hang on. Yeah, Bulk Vanity Shield. It really should be called the Cooperative Vanity Shield, to be fair. Yeah, this one, you'd think I'd like this one more. And don't get me wrong, I do like it. I just seem to prefer the Biool on it. It's a good and safe thing to note though that there's no part of this ship that really doesn't work with the Bulk Vanity Shield. And if you were going for a sort of industrial metal look, this one works great. Next up, we have the Discovery Vanity Shield. Now, normally there's a slight issue here with Discovery. Let's see if it does the same thing. Deflector is looking amazing, but you can see on the netting already one of those bad patterns that can occur in there. Normally this pattern is used on a type of deflector housing, namely the Bazaars. And, well, that's honestly why I believe them to be Bazaar clicks on this ship. If they are, fair enough. That's interesting place to put the Bazaar collectors. At the same time, they could have done something else with that pattern just to get it fit in there better. Oh well. Mostly because that pattern, I've noticed, is not a pattern that wants to balloon up all that much. The elements at the back of the ship don't seem to work very well either, which is a shame to say. This is one of those ships that you first of all notice though, the fact that Vanity Shields have 3 specific palettes that they're working on. So you've got each segment of the ship is going to come under different palettes from the Vanity Shield. Say version type 1, type 2, type 3 over it. I'll see if I can really show it up better in a bit. Now for Emperor's Vanity Shield. This one actually shows it up somewhat because well, you will notice now, right now, there are 3 specific tones on the ship. You have your primary tone that you see over all the ship. This one being on the main part of the hull here. The purple tone that's on the areas that would be wood. And then this dark brownish grey tone that's similar to the first tone on select areas. Huh. Deflector looks alright. It's a shame that the green tone sits in here so much, because in some ways it would be better off if that green tone adjusted its glowing colour. Can't really complain too much of that though, can we? Right. Fakiri Vanity Shield. So we've gone from Emperor's Vanity Shield to Fakiri Vanity Shield. Geneva class, are you having fun flying around there in the background? Yeah, I see you little fuck. Okay, so the first thing I get from this is it's rusting. I mean, not really a problem. Makes the ship feel a lot more aggressive though. And I like how that's... Well, to be fair, the wood paneling that you naturally get on the ship has a very, very similar design anyway. So naturally, this plated rid look works really well on the ship. Nothing stands out of place really either, which is specifically nice to say, and all the tones work really well. Oh, I know what I got teched. Hang on. Get you out of the way. Make it darker. Don't you love how that happens? Oh, it'd been better if it held that tone. Again, you can actually see the the three color textures again, showing themselves up nicely. Next up, let's whitewash it with the one that practically has the same texture for every single element. Get ready for the facades to look dreadful. This is the Kelvin Divergence Vanity Shield. Seriously, what's going on in here? At least the deflector looks good. The deflector actually looks great. I'll give it that one. Deflector looks amazing. Not entirely sure what's going on back there with Bazaar Collectors, which now look like Deflector Dishes. Qu'est-ce que go what? Oh look! Those Bazaar Collectors look weird as well. Oh, god damn it. I know they say you can't win them all, but the Kelvin Divergence is that one Vanity Shield to me that is just appallingly bad. Which isn't good because I'm technically one of these people that aren't a fan of the Kelvin universe. So it just seems like I'm just bashing at the Kelvin some more. I mean, you don't need to give me excuses, STO. Kelvin Dreadnought is still amazing though. Long live the Vengeance. Even if that's probably the one ship I should hate the most. Ooh, hello. Right. So this is the Medical Vanity Shield. I think I like the fact that it gives it that TOS sort of feel to the hull plating. And the impulse engines. I mean, it's not a bad one, so we'll go with that. It's not bad. Ooh. Okay, platinum. Now, you can actually sort of duplicate platinum by using Type 3 hull and going in grey-black aesthetic, but you can't quite get there exactly. Here is platinum, which looks really good on this ship. I really do mean really good on this ship. If I wasn't going with Bayul, I'd probably be flying this one. I love how high-tech it makes the ship feel. And the shimmer, glow and lighting is just beautiful. I mean, seriously. Is there a bad angle for this ship with this shield on? Even the rear I like a little bit more. finally, for Vanity Shields, we get on to the section 31 before we go to mission and reputation shields. Now, section 31 does exactly what you'd expect, and it does actually look really good in this ship. Takes away the glow netting, but leaves netting actually there, so that's nice. The underside of this ship looks nice and strong and powerful. The engines look great. The impulse engines look great. And the way the fins or that veining works on the ship, it just really... it comes to life for me in such a different way. The only issue I have is the fact that those goddamn escape pods stand out like a sore thumb on the upper section. On the lower section, at least they seem darker. They still stand out like a sore thumb though. Thank you, sun, for making them glow. Okay. Next section. So, we have the Aegis Covariant Shield Array. Well, if you're going to engineer it, you might as well buy it, because it's only like $1 million EC. If that these days. Well, okay. The element changes that it makes is quite interesting. Lets you have more of a aggressive feel. Do I really want to call that aggressive? Okay, more of a warm, heated feel. There you go. That would do. To certain elements of the ship. It's not a bad combination and probably works better with different paint schemes, but of course, yeah, this one barely changes anything on the ship. I think the only reason I don't specifically like it is because adding glow into the sort of seam lines of elements just seems silly to me. Mind you, I'm the guy of a PC that isn't completely bombazzled with LEDs and RGB because I'm not a fan of RGB. So this probably makes more sense. Okay, a simulated regenerative shield array. Yay! Let's get assimilated, people. Resistance is futile. Now, I'm going to quickly skim around this ship a little bit here because we have another element to look at. Because she'll be back, more assimilated than ever. And she will eat your soul. And you will like it because she is the queen. Oh god, how many memes am I trying to combine together there? Ile. Right. Well, the deflector looks really balmy with that on, I'm not going to lie. A couple of other things look a bit balmy, but we'll just strafe towards the back and look at the one thing that does look good, and that's the impulse assimilation element, which is... I don't know why, but I kind of like it on there. It gives it a monocle from the rear. Well, it kind of also makes it look like a bug face from the rear. It's now just staring at you with its monocle. Yeah. I will assimilate you. Nah. Yes. Quite. Rupert, get me my tea. Did I just take the piss out of the British being British? Also, did I just call us bugs? Okay, aside from that, we also have the stranger element that's almost always attached to the warp nacelles, attached under a warp nacelle on what would be a fit... What? Okay, I guess they had to attach it somewhere, but personally, attach that to the edge of the engine. I would have taken it off of there, turned it to about... Oh, I'm gonna say turn it to about 90 degrees and just attach it on the side of the engine. That looked a lot better than that. So, assimilated didn't really work out. Yes. Shame to say, because some things look absolutely amazing assimilated. You want an example? Get any Undine ship and assimilate the whole thing. Oh, you want to use the in this case, wanted to use the Dielectric or the Delta Alliance Unimatrix shields to do that. Have some fun with that. Okay, but next up for this ship, at least, is the Bajoran Defense Covariance Shield Array, which does actually work on this ship. It feels like how this ship would look if the Bajorans developed it. I mean, they would have probably used it as a farm and plantation ship, as a way of maintaining all their farms, since, well, you know how the Bajorans are. It's an interesting design. Sorry about that, I'm twisting my wrist. I think the thing I like most, though, is this element for the engine itself, where they've sort of rotated the way the pattern looks just to make it look more like that segment of the ship is clipped onto the front. Almost like a shield housing. And that's a very good little bit of extra detail they didn't have to put in. Counter Command Covariance Shield Array. Now this shield array would look a whole lot better if the ship wasn't blue right now. If the ship was green, offsets of green, teal, black, greys, that sort of thing. This would probably look a whole lot better on the ship. However, it would also probably help if I went with a deflector that was green, so green glow elements naturally. Or white, maybe, would probably look pretty good. However, that's not to say this ship doesn't look good with this shield on, just in its natural look. It's one of those times where this shield really does show its good detailing. A nice green Vanity Shield for your ships. And now for the one that I normally dislike, Delta Alliance Unimatrix Shield. Okay, so as always, I like the way the hull looks, and the goldy bronze trim is actually quite nice. As far as the green element glows look on the sails, it's absolutely fine. On the engines at the back, okay, kind of. Not a fan on the blacking out there, but okay. I'm distinctly ignoring something right now. Oh, okay, the impulse engine just looks trash, and the glowing element around the back here, again, looks trash. The V Bassard Collector looks alright initially, until you spot how much blacking out is going on. It's like, let's just go for the front area. Why? Yeah, the pattern is okay, an interesting idea, and fading out to black is kind of okay, except for when it does that through overexposure, because it's been basically over amped up or over magnified, or what you're getting on that goddamn deflector. There's not a way I'm looking at it causing it. It's literally just... it's genuinely doing that. It's... specific areas of the deflector hold the green, where the rest of it's just thrown into this early black, and it's... it looks like a human eye broken. The green of the eye is now black, and the black of the eye is now green. It's like, what the hell? Come on. Oh, I'm never going to like the glowing element of this shield, I swear. Well, okay, there's been a couple of times I've liked it. Let's get on to something that I do know I'm going to like. The Dyson Regenerative Shield Array. Which, once again, looks absolutely amazing with certain paint schemes, but again, actually looks good with the blue as well. If you went for a white scheme of this ship, there's no way this Dyson look would stand out of place. Black, again, won't stand out of place too much. You might hiccup yourself in certain ways, but at least it will look and work well. Go for purples, reds, golds if you like. If you're a fan of gold, go for gold. I don't know, I'm not a fan of gold myself. This one will look quite nice with them all, and I've got to say, I love the way the patterns work. The front of the deflector is definitely my favourite area on this Vanity Shield. It looks absolutely gorgeous. The engines themselves look, again, brilliant. The upper fin section here, the way it's got that grey to white and black. And the little bit of wood, pattern just left in there. I think that's what I like the most. The fact that this wood trim pattern is left in there. And if you've changed the colour of that wood, say made it pine, made it black, made it gold, red, you name it, it will still hold that texture look. It doesn't revert back to another texture. And so I really like that about this ship. The underside looks just as good. It works really well on the ship there. The Dyson look on this ship is probably my favourite. It may not be the one I fly, but this is just down to the fact that I tend to go with darker looks. I'm a dark person, okay? Before anyone calls me emo, I prefer the term alternative. Ah! Rock on, let's get some metal on and let's have some fun. Next up, the Iconium Resistance Shield Array. Resistance Resilient Shield Array. Okay, right. I've never really been a fan of this one. And if you consider how good the Bio worked, which uses basically the same sort of pattern, and how good the Dyson one worked, which uses, again, a similar style of pattern. Why is the Iconium so bad? Okay, let's take a look around. Come on, Iconium. I have only ever had one ship where I've done a visual review of it, or review of it, where I've gone, okay, the Iconium looks quite good on this ship. I want that again. I thought with the elegant flow of this ship, I'd have that again. No. Out of the larks, and let's go now to a tongue twister, the Lucari Restoration Intuitive Regenerative Shield Array. I'm so sorry for my autism. A little bit scaly. Also very fish-like in its feeling. It now makes me think more of a deep ocean fish rather than beetle when it looks like this. Pardon me. One of those looks which is a very 50-50 one with me. I don't dislike it, but I don't like it. It's a very 50-50. Not a bad one though. Next up in our runs, and we turn onto the Mako Resilient Shield Array. Now Mako, I was expecting to not really trend well with this ship. Let's be fair, it is disjointed, but in some elements it's actually kind of good. So I like the texturing it's adding to the blue at the top here. The texturing over the main cylinder gives a very netted and again scaly look, so it's fine, I guess. Not sure, I kind of like how the texturing is going on the back portion of the ship here, changing it to this black instead of the blue that it was. And then trimming that back, but okay. It looks okay on the front. On the engines it's fine, I guess. The deflector looks great. Facades look okay. Interesting that it didn't really change the elements on the impulse. Yeah, really is one of those ones which has a 50-50 feel to it, isn't it? Okay. And now we move on to, oh god, one of the oldest and yet still one of my favourites. This is the Nukara Crystalline Resilient Shields, aka, as I like to refer to it, the Folian Shields. Now, we are seeing a really big light at the front of the ship. This kind of works though. In some ways, it's created a new separation in style, which works really well. Okay, so why do I like this one? Well, first of all, I like the yellow ring that they've put around the deflector at the front there. Dumb down the deflector a little bit. It's a little bit in your face, but the netting also works really well. That whole, it feels like a net over net now, and that's a nice feel to it. But the big thing I like about this ship is as you work towards the back, what normally has the wooden feel has now got this grey plate feel to it. Now you would say this is taking the detailing away, but by taking core element 1 and giving it the natural folian hull, taking core element 2, which was the wooden areas, and giving it this darker version of the core element 1, and then taking core element 3 and just literally plastering this with a black version, actually gives this ship now a aggressive look to it. Instead of luxury or refinement, it's giving it a more angry, I'm more in your face, a more aggressive, I'm going to attack you now look. And I kind of really approve of that. Especially since, just look at that top angle, it doesn't look overdone. In fact, this is really quickly growing on me. I should have used it a bit more. Ooh. Shit, I might like this more than the Baul. That is a very unique feel on this ship. Of all the looks you can get, this is the uniquest look. Oh, I like it. I like it because it's unique, it's different. Can you tell why I'm an alternative? Romulan Advanced Prototype Covariance Shields. Now you got a look that's done wrong. Okay, I'm really not sure what I'm going to comment on here, which is awkward. Mostly because it's, I think it's the hole I've got on it. So as we've identified, the wood doesn't have to be wood. It can be just straight up metal with other glowing elements. And yes, that means you could add a teal or green glow to deflectors and the other glow elements. So you could go with that. And that might work well with this hull. You guys are going to kill me if I don't give this a just chance, won't you? Any Romulan fat? Okay. I'm still using the same Vanity Shield. This is still... Sorry. The Romulan Advanced Prototype Covariance Shield Array. All I've done is change glow element to Type 1 teal colour. Or teal glow. And change the green to the far end side. And I think I'm about the... I'm sit between teal and green, really. And you know what? That works so much better. It just looks absolutely amazing now for this whole type. So yes, let's scan around it. Outside the normal command center. And it's that easy. When a Vanity Shield doesn't feel like it works, but you know you normally like it, I would definitely say it's worth putting the Vanity Shield on, going to a suitable location to edit the ship's look, and just dipping around a bit with the colorations to see what you get with this ship, because you can very easily, get the ship to look amazing. It's a good look. Okay, so next up we have the Temporal Advanced Regenerative Shield Array, which does its own thing, so I don't have to go back inside there. Way! Well, okay, so the eggshells slash what I like to call sandpaper looks, well, okay on this ship. Normally I would jip it, but it's actually not that bad. And for once, the the chromic areas actually looks quite good as well. Sorry, the multicolored. I like to call it the oil textures because yeah, it reminds me of oil in water. It's not a bad look on this ship for once. You could see the ship with a temple feel to it. Oh, this one's going to be good. Terran Task Force Covariance Shield Array. I tongue twisted myself. I don't know why, but the second you just read Terran, with, at least for me, it just immediately defines this one's going to be good. And it really is. Deflector, oh my god, the deflector looks absolutely gorgeous. I love how aggressive it feels as well. It feels like those plates are all going to start lifting up and reveal these huge ass cannons that are going to be like, ha ha ha, you thought you could defeat me? Be gone, Fot. Fot. Oh god, I used the word Fot. I'm so sorry. There is no such thing as Fot. She is a queen! Oh god, yeah, okay. Ooh. Yeah, this ship feels really blasted strong. There are men out there simping for women, and then there's me simping for ships. What? Okay, next up, before I really say anything questionable, Temporal Defense Intuitive Regenerative Shield Array. Oh shit, that's the one we've already done, isn't it? Oh, dummy. I also said it alright for once. Oh! Can we do the Temporal Defense again? Is that a thing we could do? Oh, okay. Dielectric Oscillating Resilient Shields, aka the brain, aka coffee. Oh. There's only ever one time I've enjoyed this shield, and that was to make something look more Borg. Yes, this texture is extremely old. I get that, but it's also utter trash. I can't say anything nice about it ever. It seems, even when I was okay with it, I was still referring to it negatively. Okay. I get some people like it. I like this one. Gemini didn't show away. That just immediately put a smile on my face. Ooh, hello. Why am I not surprised the Deflector looks like that? Okay. Oh, It might be old and the metallic effect may need updating, but it still looks great. And it really does feel right as a beetle ship. It's our little ocean beetle. Yep, I approve. I approve. Finally, the end of my list. But not all of them. If you do want to see them all, I strongly suggest looking up Zeph Films for this, because he does this the best. Here comes the Veman Advanced Prototype Covariance Shields. Marmite, for the STO community, you either love it or you hate it. I am a love it. There's only one time I start to dislike this one, and that's when they take on this honeycomb pattern and they overdo it. And yes, they do. That's kind of regular. At least regular in the old days of STO. It's not been so bad recently. Right. Maybe off the half cylinders, take the honeycomb pattern off. It's not overdone. The chrome gives this ship some warmth in areas, which is nice to see. I am going to say I approve. However, I'm very certain the Folian has somehow remained my favourite. So that's something to be said, hey? Very unusual for me to say as well. Hey! And how my ship actually looks right now. Oh god. So guys, what is your thoughts on the Risian weather control vessel? Do you like her design? Do you know what? I actually voted for this one along with another design. Had to flip a coin really, because it was a tie for me, so I couldn't really pick. Speaking of ties, I have a voting video going on for a project coming up. So if you guys want to get your votes in when this video goes out, there will be a very little time left to vote. But the video will be tagged at the end of this, so if you want to check it out, go for it. And with all this being said, I hope to hear your thoughts on the ship below in the comments section. I will definitely be looking forward to reading those. If you're new to the channel, perhaps consider giving this video a like if you've enjoyed it, because it will really help this out, and subscribing, because that's just the growth and helping with the fulfillment of Shadowstar's dream. And speaking of Shadowstar's dream, to the people that are helping me achieve my dream job, and as of recently very much saved the channel, allow me to give a huge thank you to, and I'm sorry but I'm saying the names again, Skyhawkings, Tribal Typhoon, Dante Demonic, and Negus. Guys, a huge thank you to you guys specifically, as you are this channel's patrons and sponsorship donators as of this video going up and being edited. And I literally would not be able to finish this video off without you, since the old system died literally attempting to record this very video originally. So thank you. And to everyone out there, hope to see you next time. Don't forget to check out Discord, and remember, live long and prosper, my friends. Helm, I need the beach. Take me to our beaches.